Now, that was a recording of a Poor, Poor, Pitiful Me. Great song. We have Flo McSweeney, who was part of the group that, in terms of making that song happen. Flo, you're most welcome.
Thank you, Jeff. Good morning.
Good morning. Now, I mean, that's the song that great artist that wrote it, and in terms of a cover, you know, but like I said, it's music that kind of inspires, like, and never tires for people to listen to.
Absolutely, and I think it's the beauty of Linda Ronstadt and Carole King. I mean, for us, for our live shows that we're doing, covering the music of these women, it's kind of bringing out a new generation of people, younger and my generation, coming back to this music and getting a chance to see it performed live. Yeah, it's great.
And of course, you speak about, you know, your generation, and I think at my age now, my generation as well. But I mean, you know, you've been a long time in the business, as they say. Like, you know, I mean, amazing, up to like Moving Hearts, The Commitments, you know, and then various shows over the years, jazz, you know, Ladies in the Blues. Like, you've covered a lot of different aspects of different music.
I have, and I think people kind of tend to sort of pigeonhole you. You know, people say, "Oh, you're a jazz singer," but I mean, I am amongst many of my other hats. I think to work as a musician in this country, particularly in the 80s, you know, you had to be versatile. So I found a versatility, and I did a lot of session work in London in the 80s, doing pop stuff and rock stuff, and then going into Moving Hearts. So I consider myself fairly versatile, yeah.
And of course, it's not just so much the singing, but I mean, doing in days gone by, which I remember the shows myself, TV Gaga, Megamix, and then of course the great travel show, which was very original at the time. I mean, even for a small country like Ireland, like No Frontiers. I mean, I remember watching that, and of course nobody was going anywhere, maybe bar yourself.
I know, and how lucky I was, and I always remember my son Luke, who is 29 now. Luke was about 18 months old when I got the call from Frontier Films to talk about this travel show, and my husband Barry is a comedian, and he was over in Edinburgh, and I thought it was him. That I'm at home on my own with the baby for a month while he's in Edinburgh, and I thought they wanted to talk to him, and I was kind of getting irritated with them, and I was thinking, that's just what he needs, more travel. And then I realised it was me they wanted to talk to. And about 10 days later, I did my first trip for them, and to see how it went. And it went really well. And then 2 weeks later, I was in Africa. So it was mad. It was mental.
So who was looking after the baby?
Sure. We left him a bottle. We left him a bottle and a couple of instructions, and said, "Sure, carry on there, you'll be grand." Yeah. I had wonderful parents. My parents and I have a twin. I have a twin brother.
All right.
My parents stepped in, and it just seemed to work out that if I was away travelling, Baz was at home, and vice versa. So we got away with it.
Yeah, and of course, as you said,
we did.
The nature of the business that you're in, you don't say no when the call comes.
No.
That's the one thing you always hear about artists, is like, you know, that fear of this could be the last job, or whatever the case is.
And you always think it's the last job.
Yeah.
You really do. You always think it's the last job. So, yeah, it was kind of amazing. There are moments on No Frontiers where I thought, you know, pinch me. You know, Zimbabwe, flying over at Victoria Falls in a helicopter was pretty cool. Something I will never forget.
No, I mean, it was a great experience. And of course, as you say, we weren't a nation of big travellers then, economically, of the times that we're in. But of course, nowadays, despite what's going on currently at the moment in the world, we've kind of taken to the skies in terms of travelling. And of course, doing that show, I mean, the time factor, I mean, you must have been on the go quite a lot.
I was, because we'd film kind of between September and April, and it was I think it was a 12-week series, so I could do 12 trips in that time, and then April onwards, you know, I was at home. So I did 4 seasons, and then I stopped when I was pregnant with my second child. I thought, okay, I think it might be time to hang up your airplane seat.
Yeah.
So.
No. I mean, and that's understandable. Like as you said, and other things move on. You've had a great association with Bill Whelan, who's obviously famous for Riverdance as well.
Yeah, and long before Riverdance, I started working with Bill when I was probably about 20 or 21, and Bill was, at the time, he used to do every jingle for every TV and radio commercials.
That's amazing,
my first professional job was an ad for Nescafe coffee when I was about 21 with Bill Whelan. And we became great friends, and I worked. And then Bill was like the producer of all the bands in the 80s, from everyone, like from those Nervous Animals to Freddie White, to Maura O'Connell. So I used to do all his session work as well, and we became great pals, and I learned so much. I mean, I think I learned so much about music through working in studios with Bill. He's amazing, always amazing.
And of course, as you say, with all those different music, I mean, different bands, different types of music, I mean, you obviously had to be very versatile yourself in terms of performing in those settings.
Yeah, and also kind of like pressure, because studios were expensive. Back in those days, you know, people weren't recording in their bedrooms on their own little computers. You know, studio time was expensive, so if you were going in to do backing vocals, there might be a 2-hour slot, and there could be it could be 3 or 4 songs that had to be recorded. It was kind of pressured, so you learned quickly, and you learned to get it done quickly.
Yeah, and of course you've had you released your own album, your debut album, a Picture in a Frame.
Picture in a Frame, I did.
And then a great song by Tom Waits.
Yes, I know. It's funny. I remember being at the kitchen sink and having Spotify on the first time I heard Picture in a Frame, and what I loved about it was the sound of the squeaky floorboards as his boots went across the room, and the slightly out of tune piano. You know, that jangly piano sound that's so kind of evocative of Tom Waits. And I just kind of froze, and I went, "Oh my God, I have to do this song." But the weird thing about the song, it sort of became my funeral song. I sang it at my mother's funeral. I've sang it at friends' parents' funeral. It's just become a funeral song.
Okay, but he is a unique songwriter, and of course even his voice and his personality, because when you're watching him, you just don't know where he's going to go, or like he seems oblivious, you know, that he's just in himself doing the audience.
Absolutely.
Just in relation to the music business itself, I mean, we hear a lot, obviously, how difficult it is for artists, like in terms of getting a foot in the door and kind of keeping it going as a kind of an income level. And of course, the music business has changed a lot. And I'm thinking in terms of, because I know you're doing a tour, but in terms of music venues, and we hear a lot about the lack of live music venues, and that we need to support them.
Oh, I think so. But I mean, you know, my daughter is 24. She goes to gigs. She goes to festivals. They're, you know, and there's so much more, like getting back into going out and seeing live music. I mean, you know, we do like where we're playing tonight in Draíocht and Blanchardstown. There's loads of those kind of black boxes and those art centres. But I think there's more venues springing up, and there's more opportunity for live music now. Definitely.
Yeah, and of course, everyone, you know, the great thing about the digital, how it's all changed, like when you mentioned about recording music, you know, young people now can virtually have a recording studio in their bedroom. I mean, like even mobile phones now, I mean, the technology has moved on so much that you don't necessarily have to have a studio, but you can put stuff together.
I know, but it's scary, Jeff, because I did a gig last night in Dunleary. It was a fundraiser for Gaza, and I play with this wonderful guitarist, a guy called Draíocht, and he and I play together a lot. And I went over to his house beforehand, and he's very techie, and he started to use AI as a tool for writing. And I'm so anti AI. But he wrote this song, recorded it, it sounds like a full orchestra on it, all AI, and then he recorded his own voice and was able to turn his own voice into a female voice. And what he played back to me, I just listened to it, and I thought I might as well just give up.
Yeah, and of course, you just reminded me, that is the scary part for artists now, because as you say, I'd kind of forgotten about that. I was more thinking about movies and even, dare I say, writing books with Chatbox, whatever the case is. That is the danger that, as you said, in your own field, that is a concern.
It is, I suppose, from the point of releasing music. I mean, certainly Draíocht will be able to tell the difference, because he works with this between, say, an AI voice. But what he played me yesterday was this amazing female vocal, and I could not tell that it was an AI vocal.
Okay, well, if a professional like you with long experience can't do that, what chance have the rest of us?
The only thing is that I'd love to see her try to do it live.
Well, actually, that's the saving grace. You're right about that, because that is the thing, I suppose, before we finish like that, there is that emphasis that people do want to go to live music. They do actually want to see people on stage. Last week now, for example, you may have heard of this guy who's doing a Bruce Springsteen tribute band, Glory Days, and I wasn't going to it, and I've seen Bruce live himself over the years.
Yeah.
And I went to it with a friend of mine, and it was a great night. And he had a pretty well kind of bolted down. But what got me was the atmosphere in the audience. People just wanted to go out and dance and enjoy themselves and forget about the world for a while.
Absolutely, and I think at our gigs, I mean, Leslie and I we're very sort of. We emphasise the fact that this is not a tribute band. As I said, no wigs would be harmed in this show.
I thought that was a great quote.
It's very much. I mean, we've been friends for a very long time, 30-something plus years, and our first time working together. And it really is it's us celebrating these two artists, Linda Ronstadt and Carole King, and each other, and women of a certain age still out doing it. 30, 40 years ago, you wouldn't have had women of a certain age, rocking it out on stage, but we're still doing it. And then collectively, our band, we have an amazing band, Peter Eads, Paul McAteer, Tony Malloy and Hugh Buckley, and collectively our age is 404 between the six of us.
That's always one way of putting it, when people want to get ages, is you can add up all the numbers and go, we're still there, we're still going, which is good.
Yeah, absolutely.
I must think of it doing it that way tonight. So the show is on tonight across the way in Draíocht.
Yes, I'm really looking forward to it.
And I think there is some tickets available, and it'll definitely be a great night. Flo, I want to thank you for coming on the line and taking the time out to talk to us here on D15. I wish you the best of luck with the show.
Great.
And
Thanks
like I said,
so much. 8 o'clock. 8
o'clock tonight, the usual kick-off time. And I have to say, the song was a great song that we played on before we had a chat with yourself.
Yeah, I just heard, that's me just hearing the final master for the first time over my phone, and I thought, it sounds pretty good, because it was a live recording, so it sounds pretty good.
Yeah, well, Paul was pretty quick off the mark, and he got it over to us. And I'm not a great tech person. I'm sitting here in the studio now with myself and the microphone. They don't let me near any buttons or any kind of slide and stuff, because otherwise it would be chaos. But
same.
Anyway, it was a great sound. So listen, best luck with the show, yourself and Leslie.
Thanks so much,
okay,
Jeff. Much appreciated.
No
Take
problem.
care.
Take it easy.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.